Welcome to Gritty Reboot. I know that it's confusing because a woman is talking, but this is in fact a podcast. I'm Sarah Dunaway, and I'm here with my hosts, Kevin James.
Hey, Sarah.
And Hunter Markham.
Hi, Sarah. How are you two doing?
We're doing pretty well. It is officially fall here in Portland. We've broken out our flannels. We've broken out our apple cider donuts. I've learned what a pumpkin patch is, so, you know, everything we can hope for.
Yes, that's right. We're actually going to a pumpkin patch later today because I found out that Kevin has never been to an actual pumpkin patch, only a fake one, which is a thing I didn't know existed until last night.
Hunter, you can back me up. In Southern California, we don't have real pumpkin patches. They just take over, like, mall parking lots and fake pumpkin patches.
Yes, it's a parking lot, or there used to be a little dirt lot in Long Beach that would be the pumpkin patch in October, and then in December would be where you buy the Christmas trees.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
it.
feel unable to properly explain the horror that I felt in my heart when I learned this. Yeah. It was like learning there was no Santa Claus. I just didn't know what to do with that information.
If it makes you feel better, I grew 24 pumpkins behind the barn this year, so I had a real pumpkin patch at my house.
Nice.
I apologize. Our dog is very needy this morning and is making a lot of sounds. So our fourth co-host is Juniper James. She's the
She's
prettiest
eager
member
to
of
find
the
out what
podcast.
show we're going to watch next.
Yes.
Because, and I cannot stress this enough, we are not just recording this right before we record our next episode. This is happening a week in advance, and we don't know what we're watching next.
Yeah, this is totally happening a week in advance, and I really want to build the suspense. So I woke up with something on my mind that I really have to talk to someone about, otherwise I will literally combust. Why don't they cut the bagels all the way when they put them in the packaging? Like, why is there that little part near the center of the bagel that's not cut? Where if you can rip it apart by hand, but then you get a fucked up looking bagel where you can't, it just looks bad, you don't want to eat it. So you have to get a knife out and cut the bagel, which is the same as if the bagel wasn't cut at all.
You are speaking to Sarah's heart right now, because she has a story for you.
So several days ago, I approached a package of bagels, as one does, and these were unsliced, and I got out our extremely sharp bread knife. I should preface this, it was like 6 a.m, and I was not fully awake yet. And as I was slicing the first bagel, I thought to myself, okay, be really careful because you're really tired and this is a sharp knife. And then as I was slicing one for Kevin, also, I forgot all about that and basically sliced off the little tippy top of my fingertip. It sort of looks like my finger's wearing like a jaunty little hat. I've super glued it shut. So, yeah, I have a lot of feelings about bagels right now.
Yeah, okay, I did a similar thing when I was 15 and I was trying to watch the part in like Flint where he's talking to the dolphin, and I accidentally sliced my thumb open trying to saw apart a bagel. So I feel you.
It's just really tricky.
Apparently, I'm the only one who knows how to work a bread knife here. I, like a normal person, just grated off part of my thumb when I was shredding some cheddar cheese for broccoli cheddar soup. That's what a normal person does.
Here's the thing, though. Why don't they just... The bagel that's partially cut, or English muffins, if you're a freak and you prefer those instead, why don't they cut them all the way through? We get loaves of bread that are pre-cut. We clearly have the technology. Why is it taboo to cut all the way through the bagel? I can't be the only one that, like, just have it pre-cut. I would never have to worry about a bread knife.
No, that's so true, because English muffins, that pisses me off, too. I've always felt like probably it was for freshness, like it preserves the inside, but I might be making that up. That just might be my justification for the unfairness of the world. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
It's a sin. I did not know that you had recently sliced yourself cutting apart a bagel. This is just cosmic convergence.
It's been a real ordeal this week.
Yes.
Probably the hardest week.
I did that same... So it bled for like 12 plus... I mean, it bled even as recently as yesterday. It was just like, won't stop. That same day, I went to try on my wedding dress at the tailor. And,
who are you getting married to?
I don't know. You don't know him.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be on Married at First Sight, the reality show. So we'll see.
Kevin, you and I probably won't like this guy.
I don't know. Sarah, if he's good for you, I wish you two all the best.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I immediately bled onto my wedding dress, and so that was perfect. That was really good.
We have other ways to really drag out the suspense of what we're watching next, because we have options. And also, I think last week, when we watched the season finale of Wynonna Earp season 1, we hated it to pieces, and it sucked and was awful and made no sense. So it made us question our life, our mission, and whether we would ever watch this show again.
Yeah, we were... did we want to experience the terror of continue on with a show that was wrong for us like we did with Riverdale?
Or did we want to wait until October 28th when The Craft Legacy, a new film version of The Craft, premieres, and review that and revisit the most divisive, gritty reboot episode ever that almost tore us apart as a podcast?
I mean, I think we should take a break and do that film at some point.
Absolutely. I'm 100% on board. Here's the thing. I don't think you two could hate it any more than you hated the first, The Craft.
Probably not.
I don't know. We didn't hate The Craft. We were just disappointed in it.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I would compare it to say, well, let's put it like this. I hate Donald Trump. I'm disappointed in Joe Biden. I am calling The Craft the Joe Biden of films.
Ooh. Okay, that's not a really glowing review. New version could be totally rocking, and I'm honestly kind of excited for this because it's perfect timing. But we're recording on October 25th, and why would we wait 3 days for the premiere of a movie in order to choose our show? That would be stupid.
So, I mean, we went through a really exhaustive process trying to figure out what to do next.
I took time off work for it. Kevin told his boss that he had a death in the family just so he could comb through all the different options for the shows. Sarah purposely cut off the tip of her thumb so she could be sent to the hospital just so she could have time to look at shows. We put a lot of effort into this podcast, people.
There was a massive crowdsourcing campaign.
But yeah, after a really long consideration of one option, we decided to pursue that one option.
And the reason for that is we were told, hang tight. We were assured it gets better. We're like gay kids in high school. We're waiting for things to improve, and we're holding on to hope. And we're also trying to not get murdered by a rabid fan base that apparently loves Tim Rozon, the actor who portrays Doc Holliday, and we have been lambasting him for ages.
Yeah, I found this out recently, that he is a fan favorite because he is so kind and generous with fans and such a nice guy. And then I felt like a real jerk, but oh well. We were just talking about his character arc. Just to make that clear. I don't know him as a person.
Yeah, he could be.
I do, and let me just say, this fucking guy... No, I'm kidding. I don't know him either. I'm sure he's sweet. None of the male characters on the show are great, though.
No, I think the thing with this show is it's tailor-made to piss off anyone who is a fan of that show, because even if we like the show, even if we enjoy half the episodes of it, we're still going to make fun of every element that we can. And if someone's a really rabid fan, we will no doubt offend them. And that's perfect, because we definitely set out to create a podcast where there's no way to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission statement is, of course, that facts don't care about your feelings. That's our thing. We are those people.
God.
No, oh God, can you imagine?
We just alienate people because we're not taking these shows as seriously as someone who's a diehard fan, and I'm okay with that. I can still enjoy this show, and I've enjoyed a lot of parts of Wynonna Earp, but there's also some stuff that's legitimately bad, and also several things that just make me burst out laughing. But Kevin, I think you've prepared something extremely special for us.
Since we are continuing on season 2 of Wynonna Earp, I thought I might make a little quiz for us to see how well we can kind of predict where the season is going to go. These will contain some mild spoilers, nothing too big. So I'm just going to pose these questions to you and Sarah and see how you do. Sarah, since we are sharing a computer screen, I'll need you to look away when I read the first question so you don't see the marked answer.
Wow.
Sorry. All right, so question 1. In Season 2, we will learn that Purgatory is actually the entryway to a famous biblical location. Which location is it? A. Literal Purgatory. B. Hell. C. The Garden of Eden. Or D. The Tower of Babel.
Ooh, I really want it to be D. That seems like the more interesting choice.
Yeah, that does seem like the most interesting.
Oh, you can look again. I'm sorry.
Like that Dutch painting of the Tower of Babel by that famous Dutch painter whose name I totally know.
Mm-hmm. All right, so are you guys going with D?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Hell.
Hell. All right, so I got 1 for Hell and 1 for Tower of Babel.
Yes.
Final answers?
Final answer. Sticking to it.
It was actually C, the Garden of Eden.
What?
Interesting.
So, which brings me to question 2. Now that we know Purgatory is the entrance to the Garden of Eden, what does that make the snake demon? A, the original snake from the Garden of Eden, now in demonic form. B, a demonic descendant of the original snake. C, a demon who merely lurks nearby in snake form waiting to collect the souls of the departing revenants. Or D, a completely unrelated demon who just happened to be nearby for no reason having to do with the Earps, Purgatory, or the Revenants.
D.
Yeah, that is my heart and my soul says D because it came from nowhere. It will also be explained in a completely raucously stupid way.
You guys are both correct. It is D. When I was looking up this quiz and I saw that Purgatory was the entrance to the Garden of Eden, I thought to myself, oh, that explains the snake demon. And then I looked it up, and it does not explain the snake demon.
Oh, this was never clear to me. And I don't think it's actually clear in El Bible. The snake, everyone's like, the snake was Satan. But it never, says that. That really seems like an extrapolation.
It is an extrapolation.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the text.
Okay, that was just something. I'm not a theologian.
I now have question 3 for you guys, if you are ready.
I'm ready.
I think we can all agree that Waverly and Nicole Hott are our favorite couple, but they experienced some relationship troubles in Season 2. What is the cause of those troubles? A. Waverly being possessed by a snake demon and turning evil puts a damper on things. B. Waverly turning evil isn't a big deal, but the fact that Waverly spent so much time with the snake demon caused Nicole to worry that Waverly secretly misses, quote, that thing boys have that I don't, end quote. C. Waverly uncovers Doll's supernatural powers and tries to explain them to Nicole, but does such a poor job that Nicole thinks Waverly is breaking up with her. D. Nicole uncovers Doll's supernatural powers and tries to explain them to Waverly, but does such a poor job that Waverly thinks Nicole is breaking up with her.
Okay, it's hard for me to fathom a way that someone could explain he's a combustible robot man in a way that says, I'm breaking up with you. I don't understand that.
And yet I want to choose it. I will pick C.
I know, me too. I mean, it should be A. From a plot standpoint.
It should
That would
be.
make the most sense.
And I think that would be most enjoyable to me from a this is a good show perspective, but I so badly want it to be C.
I'm going to say A just because I want to have faith.
A for Sarah. Hunter?
C.
All right. It is A. Waverly is just possessed, and that's not cool.
Okay, that kind of makes me
Good.
feel better about where the show's going. At the same time, it makes me feel worse because it's not going completely off the rails.
All right, so question 4. Hunter, I know Champ isn't one of your favorite characters, so what role do you two think he plays in Season 3? A, is eventually revealed to be the long-lost Earp brother that has not been mentioned before. B, does not appear in the show ever again, is not mentioned at all. C, does not appear in the show again, is mentioned as having died in the previous season. D, does not appear in the show again, is mentioned in passing as having left the show to get out of everything.
I'm going with C, because I don't think Wynonna will ever stop mentioning how shitty Champ was.
All right.
I
C
would,
for
I
Hunter.
would like A.
All right. C for Hunter, A for Sarah. It is B. Disappears from the show, is never mentioned again.
I'm more okay with this because they made him a bigot at the end of season 1, and he just was revealed to be a trash human. If they hadn't done that, I'd be a little bit sad.
And last question, this is just for fun. True or false? Season 2 will feature a Christmas episode where Santa promotes the benefits of a vaccine against becoming a combustible lizard person in exchange for getting access to the vaccine first.
That can't be true. I'm just gonna say false.
False for Hunter?
I mean, it's not. It's false for this show.
Yes. It is. That is not true to the show. That was the plan of the Trump administration for how to roll out the COVID vaccine.
Wait, what?
Yes. They were going to have Santa promote the benefits of a COVID-19 vaccine in exchange for the person who played Santa getting the vaccine first.
Santa and the elves. I feel like that's important to
Yes.
note.
But like, how would that be a thing? Is it like, oh, stocking stuffers are just syringes of COVID vaccine?
Hunter, I'm just going to say this. The plan was not fully thought out, and they have since scrapped it.
It seems like one of those things that just someone says on a conference call as a first idea, and because they're kind of a lot of people's boss, no one just shoots it down as stupid. But they quietly sweep it under the rug later.
Yeah, that sounds right. So, I will just tally your scores. Boop, 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 beep, 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 boop, 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 beep.
Wow, that's an impressive computer you have.
Yes, thank you. It is a supercomputer. It only cost me $45,000. Yeah, and it is now spitting out your results. It looks like Sarah got 60% right, and Hunter, you got 40% right. So, on average, you guys got 50%, which was about what I expected. So,
Complete crapshoot. Sarah, you've always been a D student, and I completely failed.
Yep.
Is there makeup work I can do?
Good question.
Is there any way I can get my grade up? Also, we don't have $45,000 in the show budget. That's about $44,980 over the show's budget. So you just dipped into the 401k for that?
Yeah, I just, 401k and my personal IRA. I didn't want to, leave just one thing defunded.
Yeah, it's good that you and Sarah haven't recently bought a home and you don't have to make mortgage payments, so.
Absolutely, yeah. Lucky that.
It's a good purchase. I don't think this is going to cause any conflict later in your married life.
But yeah, I did design those questions to be a little tricky. I did like doing reverse things that sounded plausible. And you guys, to your credit, you still saw through some of those, so good job.
Let's step back, way back to question 1. The supposition here is the Garden of Eden is in Canada. First of all, let me just...
Specifically Alberta.
The Garden of Eden is in Alberta, Canada. The northern plains and Rocky Mountains, where I'm thinking the negative temperatures in the winter are like -20 with a hefty wind chill on top of it. This is the cradle of life.
I mean, is it just a portal to the Garden of Eden? Is it like actual...
I am not totally clear on that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get into super spoilers here. I just, little things coming down the pipeline. So I didn't look too hard into how it works.
I just like to imagine, like, Garden of Eden was in Canada, and at some point when Adam and Eve left, they were like, let's hike over to the Mediterranean. And then we'll pick up chapter 2 of the Bible.
Well, I think what actually happened, Hunter, is they hiked over to the nearest Tim Hortons, eh? And then that turned out to be a portal to Mesopotamia.
Oh, of course. This is going to be great. What things would you like to see in Season 2 after our less than stunning end to Season 1?
One thing I think I'd really like to see is a lot of, shooting fake outs. I would just love it if the show kept trying to convince us that it was going to kill it. The show tried to convince us it was going to kill a bunch of characters and then just never do it.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Just like the cutaway right before something bad happens.
Yeah, and then cut back and everything was just fine. It was just, nothing.
Yeah, like 5 times an episode, so that you really believe it every time. I think that's perfect.
It's great if you have no object permanence, and you're just like a baby, and each time the show covers its face with its metaphorical hands, you just say, it's disappeared! My favorite character will die. This character that's integral to the show will just be killed in a moment, with little to no build-up.
Can't believe Wynonna's dead.
Oh no, she's gonna be dead again!
I can't wait for the show to rename itself to Waverly, not technically an Earp.
Yeah, I really want to dive into where Waverly came from. Like, who are her parents? Adoption, to my knowledge, is a long and complex process. How did she end up in Earp custody?
I feel fairly confident that she is not... What's his name? What's Wynonna's father's name?
Ward?
Yeah, I feel pretty strongly she's not Ward's daughter, but she is the mother's daughter.
Oh, yeah, we gotta have Mama Earp come back, too.
Yes, I would love to see Mama Earp. I do not want any more siblings in the picture.
Not even Champ Earp?
That would have been amusing enough that I was willing to entertain it. But, yeah, no, I don't. No more Willas.
Here's something I'm predicting. We are never going to see Gus again.
I believe that.
That feels very possible.
That character was introduced as kind of this, saucy aunt in episode 1. She shows up in maybe 2 other episodes through season 1, has a handful of lines, is totally useless. I'm pretty sure she's never coming back because the show just realized this character doesn't work and it's not going anywhere.
Do you remember my dumbass predicting that, we're gonna learn more about Gus? She's clearly hiding what she knows.
I remember even at the time being like, I don't really think so. But, I guess we didn't know.
We didn't know.
Now the show has gone a whole other direction with giant snakes, and apparently Canada is the Garden of Eden. Which I don't know, it's just funny to me that Calgary, Alberta is the Garden of Eden. Like Adam and Eve just were fucking naked, and the first thing they did is strap on ice skates. In my new version of the Bible.
I feel like we may be being a little mean to Canada, and so I just want to say to all our Canadian listeners,
I'm sorry. I'm
eh?
sorry, all Canadians, but...
I mean, Alberta's beautiful, but that's not where the events of the Bible took place.
Correct. The location where the events of the Bible took place was a writer's head.
Yes.
I was gonna
Sorry
say,
to get all our atheism here.
I thought they mostly took place in Peoria, Illinois, but I was mistaken again. Okay.
I mean, what a lot of people don't realize is that Eve eating that apple was the first example of someone getting red-pilled.
Oh, man. All right, so, next week, wink, wink, we will be back to discuss Season 2, Episode 1 of Wynonna Earp, which is called Steel Bars and Stone Walls.
Ooh. I'm raring to go.
Then we will see you all next time. Thank you for listening to Gritty Reboot. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Please leave a review while you're there. It will help us grow. And feel free to reach out to us on Twitter. Gritty Reboot Pod is our handle. Or by email, grittyRebootPodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Our Twitter account is pretty much me tweeting about lesser-known Major League Baseball pitchers. So if you're not following, you're missing out on that.
We really know how to, create synergy between our podcast and our Twitter.
Dan Herron is my favorite pitcher of all time. He had beautiful pitching form and pitch selection. And the fact that he's not celebrated is a crime. Thank you, Juniper. She agrees.
Yeah, she's really broken up about it.